Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Corina, and today we're going to talk about our 2017 goals, both financial and some personal. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright friends, so as I've shared before, New Year's is one of my absolute favorite times of the year, and I feel like setting goals is such an important thing to do in order to achieve the things that you want to see happen in your life. And so I like to set goals very often, and so my husband has gotten on board with setting goals with me. So we've set some goals for the new year, and I'm ready to share with you guys what those are. We've been waiting a little bit just to find out some more information about a couple of the things we want to accomplish this year, and really to get a better foundation for what our goals are. So our first financial goal is to pay off all of our debt. So we are on baby step number 2, and our goal for this year is to pay off the remainder of our debt, which is, so to pay off the remainder of our credit card debt and my husband's student loans. We will still have a car loan that will not be paid off by the end of the year, but those are the two main areas that we want to get paid off: the rest of our credit cards and my husband's student loan. Now that will depend on an income increase, which we've been anticipating would happen at the beginning of the year. So we're still working out those details, but that total is about $15,000, and so if we don't see the increase, then we're going to adjust our goal back down to about $8,000, so about half of what the overall goal will be. We'll still be pushing, of course, towards the full amount if we can, and we'll be strategizing and coming up with better ways to meet that goal if our plan A with the income increase does not happen. We will be going back to the drawing board and figuring out what the next step is for our family, because we are just sick and tired of being in debt, right? We're ready to just get the next chapter started of our lives. So that is our big focus this year, which leads me to my personal goal of doing a no spend for this year. So I've had a lot of questions. I do have a whole video about my no spend, but the reason I'm on a no spend for probably the majority of the year is truly to get our credit cards paid off and to just have all of our focus going to those items. So it's also been like a personal challenge for myself over the past year and a half or so. I've been looking into minimalism and living minimally, and throughout my entire life, this is going on to a tangent, but throughout my entire life, I've really just been a consumer, right? I've just been someone who just goes out and buys things and collects things and just hoards all of this stuff. Well, look, I've looked around, and you guys can probably tell in this video I'm even looking around here. But I just look around my life and I'm I have so much stuff, and I don't need all of these things. And so that's really what led me to doing the no spend for this year, is because I want to use up the things that I have, and I don't want to bring in any more things into my life or into our home without having a good place for them, a good home for them, a good use for them, and really truly a purpose for them in our lives. So that's kind of a little tangent, but that's why I'm doing a no spend. It's not because I have a crazy excessive spending issue. It's just the fact that I own so much already, and I want to use it and use it wisely and be diligent with what I have. Okay, so moving on to our next financial goal. Our next financial goal is to fund our sinking funds. So we do have different sinking funds set up, and throughout the past year, since we've set them up, they've been so beneficial and just such a blessing to us, because it's taken the stress out of things like Christmas or car registration notes or needing to get an oil change or buy windshield wipers and things like that. It's just taken the stress out of, away from those things that were stressful for, that were concerns for us, that were things that we needed to pay for, but it would be tight in our budget, or we would feel like we wouldn't have any extra money to pay for those things, especially things like Christmas or birthday gifts. So funding our sinking funds is our next goal, because they just give us such a peace of mind, and I absolutely love them. I don't know how we were doing life without sinking funds, and I truly recommend them to everyone. There's definitely a few sinking funds that I think everyone should have, definitely a holiday and car registration and a rent increase or home insurance. Those things I think are sinking funds that every person should have, because they're things that happen in your life, and if you're an adult out there, then you are going to have these expenses. So that is our next goal, to fund our sinking funds and to just have those be just a peace of mind and just not a stress Okay guys, so the next goals that we have are kind of personal. One is to rent a house, which I guess is a little bit financial also, but we are currently in an apartment, and with where we are, I think it's just a thing about California, but our rent increases every year. I don't know if that's true for other apartments in like other states, but our rent increases every year. And we're at the point right now where if our rent increase is over a certain amount, then it will not make sense for us to stay in an apartment. It will make better sense for us to rent a home. So it's crazy that that's like the point that we're at, and that like going from like a 1-bedroom apartment to a house can just be like a very, very small margin. But that's California for you from what I gather. So that's our next goal, is to rent a house, and it will depend on our rent increase once our lease is up, which will be in the summer. So seeing what that looks like and if it makes sense for us to stay here or to rent a home and to kind of move on to a new chapter. So that's kind of a personal goal, but it is financial also, because we'll be putting money away into a sinking fund for either the rent increase or a move. So that's the next goal that we have. The next two goals are personal goals for myself. Number one is to read 24 books this year. I feel like I set a goal to read a lot of books every year, and I read like 3. I think last year I literally read like 3 books. It's terrible, you guys. It's so embarrassing. And I love to read. Like, I've grown up reading, and just I would love to go to the library, and I would have all kinds of books. And I've just found that as an adult, I just don't make the time for it, and I let it kind of fall to the wayside. And I'll like start a bunch of books and, you know, read like a couple chapters, and then I'll put the book down and forget where I left it, and it's just a mess. So I've written out a list of the books that I'm going to be reading this year, and I'm going to work through them systematically and just stay focused on that. And I think reading is such a great way to build yourself up and to learn more, and I love it. It's something I truly enjoy. So I'm excited to see that goal accomplished, and I'll be updating you guys as I go. And the last goal that I have is to play the guitar, which sounds probably so random, but I do lead worship for my husband's youth ministry, and part of that is, obviously I sing, but one thing that I've wanted to do is just add in more instruments, and we're just at a place right now where we are kind of lacking in our instrumental plethora. I don't know. We're just lacking in the instruments for our worship team, and so one thing that I want to do is contribute to that and help to build up our team by playing the guitar. So my mother-in-law did buy me a guitar for Christmas, so I've been working on it very, very slowly. It's only the 5th, but I feel like I'm making like okay progress with it so far. So that's my big goal, is to play the guitar for my husband's worship team. Or I guess my worship team, with our youth ministry. So that's a big like personal goal, and that's something that's totally scary and completely out of my comfort zone. I played the piano for years when I was little, but I've never played it like as part of a worship team or like publicly. So picking up the guitar, like a brand new instrument, to me is a little bit crazy, but I'm excited. So that's that goal for myself. So guys, as you can see, we have a mix of financial goals and also personal goals, and other things that we are focusing on. For myself, it's just, you know, growing my relationship with God and continuing to develop that, and to just develop the intimacy with the Father that I love to have. My husband's, another goal for him is to cut out a lot of sugar that we've been eating, so he's going to be eating less sugar, which is great. So not all of our goals are the same, but they do contribute to one another, and we'll be helping each other and encouraging one another in our journey and in our goals this year. So I would love to know what your guys' goals are for 2017. Be sure to leave one below in a comment, and I would love to support you and encourage you in that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like the video if you've enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. I will talk to you very, very soon. Have a great day.